When you were writing with Guns N' Roses, like how long did it usually typically take you guys to write a song?
Well, when I came into the band, a lot of the stuff was in sort of basic form. Everyone would bring ideas. Someone would come in with an idea, and then we would sort of jam. And a lot of the arrangements came through sort of my knowledge of bars, and the guys in the band didn't really speak that language. They didn't speak like bars, like drummers, like we're doing a bar 4, or whatever. They spoke in riffs. So if a riff was a certain length, they'd go, let's do the riff like 5 times. And that to me would be 10 bars, or it could be 20 bars.
Yeah.
And so I had to learn the new language when I was, because I was a little bit schooled coming into my drumming thing, and I knew how to read and all that kind of stuff. But so as soon as I got their language, and we'd write, they go, okay, let's do the riff 4 times, and then we'll go into the other riff for 8 times, and then we ba 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 ba. And once I got that language together, I would yell back at them, hey man, I think we should cut 2 riffs here, we should cut riff here, and let's go to the bridge here. And we had a really good open rapport with that band. We would all just chuck and jive. So, Slash would stand in front of my bass drum and he'd look at me. We'd all rehearse like that in a circle. And Duff would be here and facing me. So I was like, wow, this feels pretty good. These guys actually care that I'm here. It's like, it's not like, you got your back to the drummer the whole time. But, so we would look at each other, and it would go down like that. We'd play the riff, and I go, hey, man, what do you guys think if we lob a couple off there and come in a little earlier? Yeah, cool. Let's try it. So that's how it would go. By the end of the day, we used to have a big board on the wall. And when we were working on those albums, and we would literally check off the board, and we would call it something. Like it wouldn't actually have a title yet, because Axel hadn't written the lyric. So, for instance, songs like You Could Be Mine were called, like, bar hopping, or, like, big truck, or,
Right.
whatever. I love your buns, or, like, some, whatever, hot dog, We write it down. And then we knew that was the working title. And then we would record it. By the end of the day, we'd go into, like, a little, like, if you remember the DATs, we'd go into, like, a DAT player. We put down the riff so we didn't forget it, because sometimes stuff goes away. And then we'd revisit it, go back to it, polish it up a little bit. And then towards the end of the sessions, God, I think for those albums we had 35, 40 songs that we'd, come up with in this period of 2 months. And then that's when we started passing stuff to Axel to write lyrics. And Izzy Stradlin, who was the original guitar player and a very predominant writer in Guns N' Roses, had a lot of stuff completed. He'd come in with a whole song, lyrics and everything. He'd go, hey man, check it out. But Izzy was a very simplistic guitar player. He just banged chords. It's more of a kind of a Ronnie Wood, Keith Richards kind of bam, bam, And then Slash would come in and put a riff on it. And that's when the groove would come. The groove would come between me and Duff and Slash. I would play off, like, if you listen to songs like down 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 down, you can actually hear beats in there.
Mm-hmm.
You could hear the push and the pull.
Right.
So I go, okay, there it is. Boom boom ba boom boom bam boom 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 bam. Right? And that's kind of how that would happen. And then a lot of times, Duff and Slash would be in unison. So it had this really cool swing to it. And it just naturally, I could feel where the rhythm was. So I'd start like that, and then build and build and build. And then once Axel put the vocals on it, then when the vocals came on, then you had to even stay out of the way a little bit more. Like as a drummer, I always say, stay out of the way of the vocals. Don't step on the vocals. It's nothing worse than a guy singing a really great melody and some guy's playing a bunch of crap over it.
Right.
So once Axel started singing, then I would sort of set my places of where I was going to set up sections. So it was the verse, You know, I might be laying that groove down with a tighter hat, like, you know, and then it would start to build. I'd open up the hat a little bit, you know, and then chorus, right?
Right.
And you're in the chorus big. Now you're up on the cymbal. You know, you open, big. And go to a solo, go to an open crash, you know. Now you're really big, you know. So it was all very dynamically thought out, based around the vocal, the riff. And I learned early on as a guy that was going to be playing a lot of songs that I had to know how to work within that context of songwriting. Bowie, no.
He's going to town on that couch.
Lay down. These are some old Gretches that I have that are like late 70s. And got my Gibraltar hardware, as you see here, and my zills and cymbals. And it's kind of a small drum room, but it sounds killer. I always say the guy behind the board is the man that's going to get the tones. I mean, you can pretty much cut drums anywhere, really.